Kakabhushundi arrived as usual under the banyan tree. The last two sessions, as we know, were devoted to answering Garuda's many questions. But Garuda still had some queries, and Kakabhushundi was happy to respond to them. Mentally invoking Sri Ram, Kakabhushundi then opened his eyes and turned towards Garuda expectantly. Garuda asked his first question. What is the most important thing for a seeker to do? Kakabhushundi said, a seeker must serve wise people. It is only through such service that he or she can learn right conduct and develop good qualities. And while serving a wise person, the seeker should never argue or debate with him or her, for then the wise person will simply fall silent. He is not interested in needlessly reasoning with anyone, and then the seeker will be deprived of knowledge. Garuda then asked his second question. What is the best way to put an end to one's sorrows and attain abiding happiness? Kakabhushundi replied, love the Lord, have devotion for him. That alone is the means for putting an end to sorrow and attaining happiness. Garuda's third question was, where, when, and from whom had Kakabhushundi heard the exquisite story of Ram that he had just narrated? Who was his guru? Kakabhushundi replied that before developing devotion for Sri Ram, he had had numerous lives, and in those lives he did experience some joy. But it was nothing compared to the happiness that he now felt because of devotion for Sri Ram. Then he told Garuda the story of one of his earlier births. In the Kali Yuga of one Kalpa, said Kakabhushundi, I was born in Ayodhya. At that time, I had no idea about the greatness of the city. Once famine struck, and I left Ayodhya for Ujjain because Ujjain is the city of Lord Mahakaleshwar, a form of Shiva, and I was a devotee of Lord Shiva. There I found a guru who was also a Shiva bhakta, but he believed that Shiva and Vishnu were one. I simply could not understand that. Especially, I was not at all drawn to Lord Vishnu at that point. One day when I was meditating in a temple of Shiva, my guru entered. I pretended not to see him and I remained seated. Lord Shiva cursed me to become a python since I had remained immobile like one. You see, Lord Shiva is the Adi Guru and he can never tolerate any disrespect to the Guru. But my Guru was so compassionate and merciful that he pleaded with Lord Shiva to forgive me and to free me from this curse after a short while. Hearing his prayers, Lord Shiva relented. Thus, instead of remaining forever in the body of a snake, because of my Guru's prayer, Lord Shiva declared that I would take birth as a snake 1,000 times. And in each of those births, I would have the knowledge of my previous births and of the curse that I was undergoing. After these 1,000 births as a snake, I would once again be born in Ayodhya. And at that point, my sins would be washed away and I would understand the glory of Ayodhya. Then Lord Shiva blessed me with another boon, that of unobstructed access to all places at any time. And with these words, Lord Shiva departed. So I went through those 1,000 births as a snake. After that, I was born in Ayodhya, where by the blessing and grace of Lord Shiva, I became a great devotee of Sri Ram. I took to wandering through the countryside, listening to the glories of Ram in all the ashrams that I visited. Worldly desires vanished from my mind. I remembered my Guru telling me that Lord Shiva also meditated on the lotus feet of Sri Ram. Once during my wanderings, I reached Meru Parvat. There I saw Rishi Lomasha, a very exalted, self-realized man of wisdom. He was seated beneath a banyan tree, and when he saw me, he was most surprised at how anyone could have reached the peak of Meru Parvat. I asked the Muni to teach me how to meditate on Sri Ram. But he wanted to teach me another form of meditation, that of the formless aspect of Bhagwan, the Nirgun aspect. But I was insistent that I only wanted to meditate on the form of Sri Ram, the Sagun aspect, and nothing else. So the Muni got angry with me and cursed me to become a crow, because I was so fixated on my own opinions and I went on and on about them. Instantly, at his curse, I was transformed into a crow. But I didn't feel afraid. Invoking Sri Ram, I prostrated to the Muni and flew away. Actually, Bhagwan was only testing my love, and having seen how true it was, he made Rishi Lomasha regain his natural kind and loving nature. In other words, it is Sri Ram who had made the Rishi get angry with me and curse me. Then when the Muni saw how I had accepted the curse without any agitation and had prostrated to him, he felt bad. Calling me back, he consoled me and with a happy heart gave me the mantra of Sri Ram. He also taught me how to meditate on the child form of Ram. Then Muni Lomasha told me to stay for some time with him, and he narrated the story of Ram to me. He himself had heard the story from Lord Shiva. Finally, the Muni blessed me with unbroken devotion for Sri Ram by placing his hand on my head. He also gave me the boon of being able to take any form I liked. Best of all, Muni Lomasha gave me the boon to choose the time of my death. If even at the end of a kalpa I did not want to die, I could remain. And I continue to remain because I love to perform puja of the form of Sri Ram, and that is impossible without a physical body. Thus, I have no desire to die. The generous Muni further declared that in whatever ashram I chose to live, anyone approaching within an 8-mile radius of it would become free of all spiritual ignorance. It is because of this special blessing of Muni Lomasha that anyone who comes here finds that his or her delusion has vanished. Kakabhushundi was overcome with great emotion. Because of the special blessing of my Guru and of Muni Lomasha, he said, I was able to understand all the hidden meanings of the Leelas of Sri Ram. Thereafter, I settled down at this very spot, and I have been living here for 27 kalpas. With this long story, Kakabhushundi brought the evening session to a close. He asked Garuda whether all his questions had been answered, but Garuda still had some more. So Kakabhushundi promised that they would continue the satsang the following evening.